Your sexual function is improved with daily walking. You just need to be consistent. Today, we're talking about the simplest, most accessible form of exercise that exists, walking, and how it can literally transform your cardiovascular health, your body composition, your mental health, and yes, your sexual function. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button right now. We're going to break down the actual science of how walking affects everything from your blood vessels to your hormones to your ability to get and maintain erections. Only about 15% of you watching are subscribed, so let's change that. Here's what most men don't realize. You don't need an expensive gym membership. You don't need complicated workout programs. You don't need any equipment at all. Just putting one foot in front of the other consistently can create profound changes in your health. And when your overall health improves, your sexual function improves right along with it. So today, we're breaking down exactly what happens to your body when you walk every day, how it impacts erectile function specifically, what the optimal amount of walking is, and how to maximize the benefits. Let's get into it. The cardiovascular connection. Why walking matters for erections. Let's start with the most important connection, walking and cardiovascular health. Because here's the fundamental truth about erectile function. It's a vascular event. Erections depend entirely on blood flow. When you're sexually aroused, your nervous system releases nitric oxide in the blood vessels of your penis. This nitric oxide causes those blood vessels to dilate, to open up, which allows blood to flow in and create an erection. But if your cardiovascular system is compromised, if your blood vessels are damaged or clogged or inflamed, they can't dilate properly. Result? Weak erections or no erections at all. Here's the statistic that should get your attention. Erectile dysfunction is often the first sign of cardiovascular disease. The blood vessels in your penis are only 1 to 2 millimeters in diameter. The coronary arteries in your heart are 3 to 4 millimeters. So when plaque starts building up in your arteries, the smallest vessels get affected first. That means erectile problems often show up 3 to 5 years before a heart attack. Your penis is literally your early warning system for cardiovascular disease. Now here's where walking comes in. Regular walking has profound effects on your cardiovascular system. Improved endothelial function. The endothelium is the inner lining of your blood vessels. When it's healthy, it produces nitric oxide efficiently, which allows for proper vasodilation. When it's damaged, you develop endothelial dysfunction, which is the beginning of cardiovascular disease and erectile dysfunction. Research published in the Journal of the American Heart Association found that regular walking significantly improves endothelial function. In one study, previously sedentary adults who walked 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week for 12 weeks, showed measurable improvements in endothelial function comparable to what you'd see with more intense exercise. Reduced arterial stiffness. As you age, your arteries naturally become stiffer and less elastic. This arterial stiffness impairs blood flow throughout your body, including to your penis. Multiple studies have shown that regular walking reduces arterial stiffness, keeping your blood vessels more youthful and flexible. A study in the European Heart Journal found that adults who walked regularly had arterial stiffness measurements similar to people 10 to 15 years younger who were sedentary. Lower blood pressure. High blood pressure damages blood vessels throughout your body. It's one of the leading causes of erectile dysfunction. Walking is one of the most effective non-pharmaceutical interventions for reducing blood pressure. Research shows that regular walking can reduce systolic blood pressure by 5 to 8 millimeters of mercury and diastolic by 3 to 5 millimeters of mercury. That might not sound dramatic, but it significantly reduces cardiovascular risk and improves erectile function. Improved cholesterol profile. Walking helps reduce LDL, bad cholesterol, and triglycerides while increasing HDL, good cholesterol. This reduces plaque formation in your arteries, which maintains healthy blood flow. A meta-analysis of multiple studies found that regular walking reduced LDL cholesterol by about 5% and increased HDL by about 3 to 5%. Again, these seem like small numbers, but they translate to significantly reduced cardiovascular risk over time. The body composition effect. Now, let's talk about how walking affects your body composition, because this directly impacts your hormones and sexual function. We've discussed in previous videos how excess body fat, especially visceral fat around your belly, converts testosterone into estrogen through an enzyme called aromatase. The more belly fat you're carrying, the more testosterone you're losing, and the more estrogen you're producing. This hormonal environment suppresses libido and causes erectile dysfunction. Additionally, excess body fat creates chronic inflammation that damages blood vessels and impairs blood flow. So losing excess body fat improves sexual function through multiple mechanisms: higher testosterone, lower estrogen, reduced inflammation, and better vascular health. Walking is one of the most effective tools for fat loss, particularly when combined with proper nutrition. Here's why. Sustainable calorie burn. A 30-minute brisk walk burns approximately 150 to 200 calories, depending on your weight and pace. That might not seem like much, but it adds up. Walk 30 minutes daily for a week, and you've burned about 1,000 to 1,400 extra calories. Over a month, that's 4,000 to 6,000 extra calories burned. Since a pound of fat is approximately 3,500 calories, that's potentially 1 to 2 pounds of fat loss per month from walking alone, without any dietary changes. Preferential belly fat loss. Research shows that regular walking, particularly brisk walking, preferentially reduces visceral fat, the dangerous belly fat that surrounds your organs and messes with your hormones. A study published in Medicine and Science in Sports and Exercise found that sedentary adults who started walking 30 to 60 minutes most days of the week lost significant amounts of visceral fat over 12 weeks, even without major dietary changes. Preserves muscle mass. Unlike severe caloric restriction, which causes you to lose both fat and muscle, walking promotes fat loss while preserving muscle. This is critical because muscle is metabolically active tissue that helps you burn more calories at rest. Improves insulin sensitivity. Walking improves how your cells respond to insulin, which helps regulate blood sugar and reduces fat storage. Better insulin sensitivity means less fat accumulation, particularly around your midsection. The mental health and stress connection. Here's something that often gets overlooked: the connection between mental health, stress, and sexual function. And walking has profound effects on your mental state. Chronic stress and anxiety are major contributors to erectile dysfunction. When you're stressed, your body is in sympathetic nervous system mode, fight or flight. But sexual arousal happens in parasympathetic mode, rest and digest. These two states are mutually exclusive. You can't be stressed and aroused simultaneously. Additionally, chronic stress elevates cortisol, which suppresses testosterone production. High cortisol plus low testosterone equals low libido and erectile problems. Walking is one of the most effective stress reduction tools that exists. Reduces cortisol. Multiple studies show that regular walking significantly reduces cortisol levels. A 20 to 30-minute walk can measurably lower stress hormones and shift you into parasympathetic mode. Improves mood. Walking increases endorphins, your natural feel-good chemicals. Research shows that regular walking is as effective as antidepressant medication for mild to moderate depression. Reduces anxiety. Studies consistently show that regular walking reduces anxiety symptoms. The rhythmic, repetitive nature of walking has a naturally calming effect on the nervous system. Improves sleep. Regular walking, particularly in the morning or early afternoon, improves sleep quality. And as we've discussed before, sleep is when your body produces the majority of its testosterone. Better sleep equals better hormones equals better sexual function. Provides mental clarity. Walking, particularly in nature, gives your mind space to process thoughts and emotions without the constant input of screens and stimulation. This mental clarity reduces the kind of rumination and anxiety that interferes with sexual function. How much walking do you actually need? So what's the optimal amount? Let's look at what the research shows. Minimum effective dose. The current physical activity guidelines recommend at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activity per week. That's 30 minutes, 5 days a week of brisk walking. This is the minimum to get significant health benefits. Studies show that people who meet this threshold have 30 to 40% lower risk of cardiovascular disease, significantly better erectile function than sedentary individuals, lower rates of depression and anxiety, better body composition, and metabolic health. Optimal range. Research suggests that benefits continue to increase up to about 300 minutes per week, 60 minutes most days. Beyond that, the additional benefits plateau, and you might start seeing diminishing returns or even overuse injuries. A large study published in JAMA Internal Medicine found that people who walked 7,000 to 10,000 steps per day had the lowest all-cause mortality rates. Beyond 10,000 steps, there was little additional benefit. Intensity matters. Brisk walking means you're moving fast enough that you can talk but not sing. Your heart rate should be elevated, typically 50 to 70% of your maximum heart rate. Walking at a casual stroll doesn't provide the same cardiovascular benefits as brisk walking. You need to challenge your cardiovascular system to get adaptation. Consistency trumps intensity. Walking 30 minutes daily is significantly better than walking 2 hours once a week. Your body responds to consistent, repeated stimulus, not sporadic intense efforts. The walking protocol for maximum benefits. Based on the research, here's an optimal walking protocol for improving overall health and sexual function. Daily baseline, 30 minutes of brisk walking, 5 to 7 days per week. This is your non-negotiable minimum. Add incline when possible. Walking uphill or on an incline increases intensity without requiring you to walk faster. This builds leg strength and creates a greater cardiovascular challenge. If you're on a treadmill, a 3 to 5% incline significantly increases calorie burn and cardiovascular demand. Include some faster intervals. Once or twice a week, include some faster walking intervals. Walk at your normal pace for 3 to 5 minutes, then increase to a very brisk pace for 1 to 2 minutes. Repeat this 5 to 8 times during your walk. This interval approach improves cardiovascular fitness more than steady state walking alone. Walk after meals. Walking within 30 to 60 minutes after eating helps regulate blood sugar and improves insulin sensitivity. A 10 to 15-minute walk after dinner is particularly beneficial. Morning walks are optimal for circadian rhythm. Walking in the morning, particularly outdoors with natural light exposure, helps regulate your circadian rhythm, which improves sleep quality. Better sleep means better testosterone production. Nature walks provide additional benefits. Walking in natural environments, parks, trails, forests, provide stress reduction benefits beyond walking in urban environments. The research on forest bathing or nature therapy shows measurable reductions in cortisol and blood pressure from walking in nature. Track your progress. Use a fitness tracker or smartphone to monitor steps and distance. Aim for 7,000 to 10,000 steps daily. Tracking creates accountability and allows you to see progress over time. What happens to your body? The timeline. Let's talk about what actually happens when you start walking daily. Week 1 to 2, immediate effects. Improved mood and reduced stress from endorphin, release better, sleep, quality slight, improvements in energy, levels initial, cardiovascular adaptations beginning. Weeks 3 to 4, early adaptations. Measurable improvements in cardiovascular endurance, slight reductions in blood pressure beginning to notice, easier breathing during exertion, small improvements in body composition if combined with proper nutrition. Weeks 6 to 8, noticeable changes. Visible fat loss, particularly around the midsection, significant improvements in cardiovascular fitness, better stress management, and mood regulation beginning to notice improvements in sexual function and morning erections, improved sleep quality becoming consistent. Weeks 12 to 16. Substantial improvements. Measurable changes in body composition, significantly better cardiovascular health, markers, noticeable improvements in erectile function for those who had issues, higher energy levels throughout the day, better stress resilience. 6+ months, long-term benefits. Sustained improvements in all health markers, significant reduction in cardiovascular disease, risk, optimized body composition, consistently better sexual function, improved overall quality of life. Maximizing the benefits. What else matters? Walking alone is powerful, but combining it with other healthy habits multiplies the benefits. Nutrition. You can't outwalk a terrible diet. Walking creates a caloric deficit, but if you're eating processed junk, drinking excessive alcohol, and consuming too much sugar, you'll undermine your progress. Focus on whole foods, adequate protein, lots of vegetables, and minimal processed foods. Hydration. Dehydration impairs performance and recovery. Aim for at least half your body weight in ounces of water daily. Sleep. As mentioned, sleep is when your body produces testosterone and repairs itself. Aim for 7 to 9 hours nightly. Strength training. While walking is excellent, adding 2 to 3 strength training sessions per week optimizes muscle mass, bone density, and testosterone production. Stress management. Walking helps, but also consider meditation, deep breathing exercises, time in nature, and addressing sources of chronic stress in your life. Common mistakes to avoid. Mistake 1. Poor posture. Walking hunched over or looking down at your phone reduces the effectiveness and can cause neck and back pain. Walk upright, shoulders back, looking forward. Mistake 2. Inadequate footwear. Cheap or worn-out shoes increase injury risk. Invest in proper walking or running shoes and replace them every 300 to 500 miles. Mistake 3. No progression. Walking the same route at the same pace forever means your body stops adapting. Gradually increase distance, speed, or add incline to continue progressing. Mistake 4. Ignoring pain. Some muscle soreness is normal when you start. Sharp pain, joint pain, or pain that persists is not. Address it before it becomes a chronic injury. Mistake 5. All or nothing thinking. Missing a day doesn't ruin your progress. Just get back to it the next day. Consistency over weeks and months matters more than perfection. The research on walking and erectile function. Let's look specifically at studies on walking and sexual function. A study published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine followed sedentary men with erectile dysfunction who started walking 30 to 40 minutes most days of the week. After 6 months, 40% reported significant improvement in erectile function, 30% reported complete resolution of erectile dysfunction. Improvements correlated with improvements in cardiovascular fitness and body composition. Another study in the American Journal of Cardiology found that men who walked regularly had 30% lower rates of erectile dysfunction compared to sedentary men, even after controlling for age, BMI, and other factors. A large prospective study following men over 10 years found that those who maintained regular walking habits throughout the decade had significantly lower rates of developing erectile dysfunction compared to men who remained sedentary. The mechanism is clear. Walking improves all the systems necessary for healthy erectile function: vascular health, hormonal balance, body composition, mental health, and sleep quality. Beyond sexual function, the full body benefits. While we focused on sexual health, walking improves virtually every aspect of your health. Cardiovascular, 30 to 40% reduced risk of heart attack and stroke. Metabolic, reduced risk of type 2 diabetes, better blood sugar control. Musculoskeletal, stronger bones, reduced risk of osteoporosis, better joint health. Cognitive, reduced risk of dementia, better memory and cognitive function. Longevity, studies show regular walkers live significantly longer than sedentary individuals. Cancer risk, reduced risk of colon, breast, and other cancers. Immune function, better immune response, fewer sick days. Walking isn't just about sexual function. It's about optimizing your entire health span. The years you live in good health, not just the years you're alive. Your action plan. This week, walk 20 to 30 minutes daily. Every day, find a route you enjoy or can easily access. Invest in proper walking shoes. If needed, track your steps with a phone or fitness tracker. This month, increase to 30 to 40 minutes daily. Add 1 or 2 interval walks per week. Walk after at least 1 meal daily. Aim for 7,000 to 10,000 steps most days. First 3 months. Maintain consistency. Miss no more than 1 day per week. Gradually increase intensity, faster pace or incline. Combine with proper nutrition for body composition changes. Monitor improvements in energy, mood, sleep, and sexual function. Long term. Make daily walking a permanent habit. Continue challenging yourself with progression. Maintain consistency. Even as life gets busy, use walking as your foundation and add other exercise as desired. Walking is the most underrated health intervention that exists. It's free, it's accessible, it requires no equipment or expertise, and the benefits are profound and scientifically validated. You don't need to run marathons. You don't need to lift heavy weights, though both are great if you enjoy them. You just need to consistently put one foot in front of the other. For your cardiovascular health, your hormones, your mental health, your body composition, and yes, your sexual function, walking works. The research is clear. The benefits are real. You just have to do it. If this video helped you understand the connection between walking and overall health, hit that like button and share it with other men who need to hear this. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're going to keep breaking down evidence-based health strategies that actually work. Drop a comment. Are you currently walking regularly? What's your biggest barrier to consistency? I read every comment. My name is Dr. Eva Danielle, men's health expert. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Now turn off this video and go for a walk. Your body and your sex life will thank you.